So thank you very much for joining me, Masingati. Is that correct? If I pronounced it properly?
Yes, it's Masingati.
Masingati,
Brown.
thank you. Thank you so much for joining me and taking time out from your busy schedule to give this interview. We really appreciate it. To just start off with, could you please tell me a bit about yourself, your background, and how you got into mediation and the work that you do?
Yeah, so thank you so much. As I have said already that my name is Brown Masingati. I am based in Malawi, a city called Zomba. Actually, after I graduated from Zomba Theological College, Bachelor of Divinity, then I joined to be a social worker in the community whereby I've been doing the voluntary work. So during my work, I noticed that there are a lot of issues of gender-based violence, and the women and girls were the ones who were affected, greatly affected, and we had also issues of mental health among the youth. So for knowing that there was a high rate number of suicide that were recorded each and every day in our district. It's like, for instance, this year, 3 months ago, we have recorded like 300 and something suicide cases among the youth. So issues also of gender-based violence, whereby we have been experiencing physical violence, emotional violence, economic violence, all those kind of violences. Women's were highly affected and the girls were highly affected. So I decided to enter into a situation whereby I would be going to mobilize the communities and starting discussing this kind of issues. So I have been in the field for almost 7 years. But I am very happy to see that the mediation that I've been conducting with the community members, it has worked, because as of now I'm talking, I have managed to rescue 200 women who were facing issues of gender-based violence. As of now, they are able to support by themselves and their families, and they are doing so good. So the mediation that I took during this kind of initiative, what I did was that I wanted to find out the root cause of these issues of gender-based violence. So I started having the focus group discussion with the women, and I could also have the focus group discussions with men separately, another focus group discussions with the youth and the girls, in order to gather all the information. So out of what was discovered from all the focus group discussions, I had to call the government, other organizations, as well as gender officers in our district, to come and hear by themselves, as all the men, women, youth, and the girls were also in presence. So out of the issues that the women raised were addressed, and the men accepted to start treating their wives like the way they wanted to, as I also did with the findings from the men. So out of this kind of mediation, the families that were in chains, families that were about to end, they became one body. They united, and I've been following all the families. So it was very wonderful news that I was getting from the families. You see, women will be saying that no, from the initiative that you took, as of now, I was not in peace, but as of now, there is a peace in my home. My husband is able to love me, and I was not expecting such kind of initiative to benefit, so that I can benefit from it. So it's a long journey, but it was not that I was employed, but I was doing it out of my love, out of passion to help my community in Zomba. So here I am.
Thank you so much for sharing that and what important work you're doing in your community. And just to follow up on that, would you say that your passion for this work came from the way that you were raised, maybe by your family and by your own community? Is this what drove you into this work that you're now doing, mediating, and your passion for working with your community and against gender based violence?
Yeah, I was raised in a Christian family whereby I have never experienced any violence with my mom or my dad in the family. But after my sister had left the family and got married, is where she was experiencing issues of gender-based violence. She could be beaten by her husband, economically abused, all those kind of things. So I said, no, no, I cannot just fold my hands seeing my sister being abused like this. So I had to stood my guns and starting engaging them both of them. So the mediation that I took, that was when I was I think 16 years old. It was a mediation whereby I did not want to their marriage to end, but I wanted to make sure that they are able to understand each other and they are able to respect each other and they are able to work together as one body. So after I had mediated that, and it worked very well, and they really appreciate the way how I mediated on their differences. So out of that, in Malawi, there are a lot of issues of gender-based violence. When it comes to rape, when it comes to suicide cases, when there are a lot. So, knowing that the data that we have is very huge when it comes to issues of gender-based violence. I noted and I have experienced in the community seeing many women are being abused. I have experienced seeing women being cut their hands completely. I have seen youth, I think, especially girls, being raped in the community, and no case was reported. I've seen girls being abused sexually, mentally, economically in their families and outside of their families, as well as in the community. So I said, no, I cannot just, as a person, as a good citizen, I cannot just sit down and fold my hands and seeing many women and girls being abused like this. I have to stand. So I started doing these kind of initiatives because I experienced in my own family, my sister's family, as well as in my community where I am.
Thank you for that. And yeah, your background has really shaped that, the work that you are doing. And I just wanted to ask you, in terms of the mediations that you've done outside your family, do you find that sometimes you can bring the Christian values that you grew up with in your family and in your community to those mediations? Or are you sometimes forced to just stick to your training as a mediator? The trainings that you've been through as a mediator? Or is there space for you to say, as a Christian, I believe A, B, C, D, or I believe that this is the way that things should be done?
Yeah, actually, the community where I am is a mixed community whereby you can find Muslims and the Christians. And it's like a 50% Muslims, 50% Christians. So what I do is that, as you know, that there is a saying which says, when you are in Rome, do what Romans do. So as a mediator, we don't mediate when you are very angry or hungry, but when you are stable, when you are in a good environment. So what I did was like, when this kind of issues of conflicts is within the Muslim village, then I would go there uh, uh, just like a Muslim. I would talk to them nicely, engaging them. Even the Muslim brotherhood to come and they will discuss things, and it will end like that. So if there is an issue with also Christian family, I'll go also as a Christian, whereby issues of um, spiritual support will be also offered if there is some kind of needs like spiritual support. Because I'm coming from the background of theology Christian. I was raised in a Christian world, but because of the education background, where we also learned about how to live with the Muslims, their beliefs, and the like, that also helped me to know how to mediate in the Muslim side. When there is a Christian conflicts, then I would also go and mediate in the Christian way. So in that way, I was able to be understood in the community. Whenever I am with the Muslims would take me as their brothers. The Muslims I have a great respect in the Muslims community. I have also great respect in the Christian community. So together, Muslim and Christian in this community that I am, they are living together, working together, doing things together. And issues of gender-based violence has been minimized because the way how I tried to mediate between these two camps.
Thank you for that. And as a mediator, what would you say is your preferred approach to mediation? What is the approach that you prefer to use?
The approach that I have been using, because as a mediator, I have never trained on how to do this kind of mediation. And it's my goal that if one offers some kind of training on this, I think it can add a plus to what I am doing in the community. Like when I am mediating, there is some kind of issues that I do, like win to win, lose to lose. Those are kind of approaches that I am using in the community when it comes to the mediation. When there is some kind of issues of conflicts on interest, I always deal those cases whereby the two parties would come and I would hear from what each other are saying, their complaints, and later on I will try to talk to them, trying to unite them. Then at the end, you find that there is some kind of win to win or lose to lose. So if there is some kind of win to win, it means all two sides are equal. Also lose to lose, it means all two sides are equal. No one is above. So that's kind of mediation, that approaches that I do in the community. So with that approach, it helps to make sure that, for instance, if I am in the family, when I'm mediating in the family whereby a man and a woman, they are fighting, no one is stepping down and say, no, thank you so much, let's keep on moving. So I go there, I started highlighting issues, I started maybe hearing from one side, and I also hear from one side. Then, based on the knowledge that I have and based on what I've been said, I would say, no, yes, I think this was happening because you don't know issues of human rights, maybe you don't know issues of gender-based violence. But what I can advise you guys that you need to work as a team, because if you don't work as a team, it means you will never develop. Look at the situation, you have children, you have this. If one dies with BP like this, who is going to raise your children? Otherwise, the children will suffer, you will also suffer. So this is the high time that we should not start fighting one another, but it's time to unite and do the development for your families. So I would unite a man and a woman, so that no one is a winner, no one is a loser. All of them are equal. They should be moving forward together as a family. So I have receiving even different kind of comments from the children from different families and the spouses from different families, saying, as of now, we are living as a husband and wife, one body, and our children are very happy. Things are moving forward because you did not show that this one is very important than this or is less than this person, but all of them are equal. They are working together as a family and a husband. And apart from that, the mediation that I have been also doing on the issues of like PA mediation, whereby I was addressing issues. I've been addressing issues of mental health, whereby I would gather the peers in the community. I have 5 youth clubs. Each youth club contains of 30 members, 15 girls and 15 boys. So I would address the issue equally, and I will make sure that no one is winner, no one is a loser, but all of them are equally important. Sure. So that's the approach that I've been doing in my community for the past of 7 years.
Thank you so much for that interesting perspective. And you also touched on the question that I was going to ask you next about what you consider as a successful mediation. So would you say you consider a successful mediation when you have brought the parties to seeing each other as equal? Or what would you see as a successful mediation? From your perspective.
Maybe can you repeat? Yeah, can you repeat the question?
Okay, I was saying, in your view, what is a successful mediation? What does a successful mediation look like from your perspective?
Successful mediation is when, after there was differences, these people, two camps are brought in, and their issues are resolved. After their issues are resolved, these two teams are able to work together as one. Successful mediation, to me, it means that men and women are equal. They should be working together. They should work as brothers and sisters, and no one should be above, but they should work together as a team. So successful mediation, to me, is all about equal sharing of the resources in the family, or whatever is happening. No one should feel like he is below or above, but all of them should work together and concentrate and forge ahead. They should also forget on what was happening about their conflicts. They should forget, and they should work as a team in their families, in their communities, without regarding to the sex, color, or skin, or anything. But they should work as a team, forget on what happened in the past, and forge ahead. That's a successful mediation to me.
Thank you very much for that. And what would you consider a criteria to select a mediator? Who would you say this is a good mediator in terms of dealing with the conflicts in the community?
Yeah, criteria of selecting a good mediator. A good mediator must understand the community, must understand the people whom he or she is dealing with. A good mediator must understand each other's story before stepping in to comment. A good mediator must give space, whereby after listening to this person and listening to another person, he should have time. He should or she should have time to think and rethink before judgment is passed. A good mediator must have the mentality of not harm somebody, but to make sure that if there is someone who has if there is somebody who has done wrong to somebody, the good mediator must sit down, talk to them politely, and make sure that both teams, they believe that the mediator has understood their stories and they are taking their issues into consideration. And before the passing judgment, the good mediator must present his or her observation in a polite way, in a positive way, so that nobody feels like he or she is sidelined, but they are all equal and they should move forward as a good mediator. Also, a good mediator must know that the issues of conflicts is not something that should be taken as something that is always that rightly, but it should be taken as something that is going to take the both sides in another step. And for that to happen, a good mediator must have a conducive environment of hearing both cases. Or a good mediator must know that any case to be resolved fully. Firstly, environment, it matters. Whenever a mediator knows that there is a conflict in this house whereby they have been beating each other in this family, a good mediator must isolate all of them, like a man. A good mediator must take a man and going to another environment where a man can explain everything, and he should also have time to take a woman into a good environment so that the woman can feel better and express everything, and then both of them can be brought in a good environment where they can understand each other and unite. That's also a quality of a good mediator that I can give.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And the mediation space has been dominated by men, and we find that there are very few women mediators out there. So, do you think women can be effective as mediators in such a space, in such a patriarchal space?
Yes, actually, this is a very, very important question, especially when it comes to issues of gender-based violence. This is what I've been facing. So, for me, mediation to work, it needs issues of gender-based violence. On issues of gender-based violence, it needs a male and a female working together in a mediation system. For instance, if there is a case of in the family, then a male to go there to do mediation to both the female and a male in the family, I know that it would be difficult, but I have to be accompanied by a female who can also understand the need of the female in the family. And I saw that I can also understand the needs of the man in the family, so that women are also represented on the issue. Apart from that, it is very, very important that women should be also take the opportunity to in the mediation in mediation, like mediation government, I can call it, because most women are left when it comes to issues of mediation. For myself, whenever I'm going to the community, I do select females who are well knowledgeable or elders in the community to go with me, so that there is some kind of gender balance. So it's unfortunately unfortunate that in Africa, especially Malawi, we don't have women who are mediators. We have only a few, but the cases are many. Only men are the ones that are taking as a mediator. So as I step in this mediating as a mediator, like in my community, I made sure that women are also taken into consideration. I'm telling you, I've been also training two females on how they should be mediating in the community whenever there is issues of conflicts in the community. So using that theory, it helped many families to be united, because they knew that men and women are represented, a male and female are represented. So I also urge to, whenever there is some kind of trainings of mediation, women must be included, so that they understand the things and they can do, because women can do better than men. That's what I believe. Women can do better than men. And with my experience working in the community, 3 women that I've been working with, well, 3 women that have been training for this mediation have worked perfect than me. And I'm very happy to see this happening in Malawi, in my community. So my next step is that whenever I find someone who would like to train female mediators, I can bring more female in my community, so that the community can be transformed from within, because women are also taking active part in mediation arena.
Thank you for that very interesting insight. And I go on to your experience as a mediator. What are some of the challenges or obstacles that you usually face when you go into the community trying to resolve a conflict as a mediator? Can you just share with me some of these challenges that you face?
Yeah, as a mediator, there are some challenges that I've been facing. For instance, when it comes to issues of funding, it was something else. Like, as I said already, that I started this kind of mediation and I joined the MBBI. Since I joined the MBBI, I've been, we have been integrated, and the families are at peace. One of the challenges that I was facing during the mediation was all about funding. If, for instance, because I am trusted by the community, chiefs trust me so much because whenever they would like to pass the judgment on issues of conflicts in the community, they also do consult me. I'm not like an organization, I'm just a member of MBBI. I don't funding, so whenever there is an issue that I need to go and to do some kind of mediation, it means I need to find where I can get transport to travel to that place. Whenever there is issues of gender-based violence happening in the community, I need to find a means on how I can organize all the community and conduct awareness campaigns. I've been conducting awareness campaigns, but the awareness campaigns were not funded. I was just doing it. And you know, when you are doing things, if you're not funded, it requires some kind of resources. I had to use my own resources because I have heart to my community. I have a heart of helping the community. So as a member of MBBI, funding is more challenging up to now. And another issue that I have been facing in the community with the issues of mediation is that of training. Lack of training for female members who can go with me in mediation. Had it been that we had more than 10 females in the community that I am serving is almost is closer to 500,000. So alone to do this work, it's so challenging. That's why issues of mediation to me has been so challenging in the community. So I urge those people in the community, and I also urge those who have capacity to train different members in the community on issues of conflict resolution to do so, because this is so challenging. Women needed to be taken to the board when it comes to issues of mediation, so that the women also in the community are represented. So the challenge has been is the low representation of the women in the mediation course, as well as issues of funding has been also so difficult to me during the mediation course.
Thank you for that. And just to follow up on that, in your personal experience,
I have also to say that apart from that challenges, there is also some kind of trainings that are needed, so that whenever you understand fully issues of mediation, you can also be able to resolve conflicts in the communities in a good way.
Thank you so much for that. And I was just going to follow up to ask you about your personal experiences and challenges with particular mediations. Maybe you find that the people are not very receptive to mediation or other challenges that you may find. Can you share with us some of those challenges and how you deal with them? Let's say when you approach as a mediator and you have difficulties engaging with the community.
Yeah, so me, yes, in such scenario, for instance, if some peers are resistant to the mediation, what I will do, I will use some skills in order to make sure that they are in the system. For instance, if the peers are not they are resisting, I would use the like peer-to-peer, whereby like I would invite a peer, and I will first I will investigate like if like John and Mary, they are in conflicts, but there are resistance to the mediation. What should I do? Then I would when I find out that John likes football, I would actually invite John, come, let's go to the football pitch. Let's go to watch a cinema, a football over there. Or let's come to my house so that we can watch together a game. There is a game. So when I am interacting with the person, we are watching football, we can be talking issues, then he can be open or she can be open. So if there is a man who loves like watching movies, then I would invite, let's go to the cinema so that we can watch together cinema. Then the man will be open to speaking to me. Yeah, so I'll use those kind of tactics to make sure that I am able to resolve this kind of conflicts in the community.
Thank you so much for that very interesting insights indeed. And thank you for sharing openly about your work and your experiences. We have come to the end of our interview, but I'd really like to thank you for taking your time and sharing so freely your experiences.